Hello, students! Today we are going to learn another very important part of English grammar called the pronoun. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. Instead of repeating the same noun again and again, we use pronouns to make our sentences smoother, shorter, and more natural. Pronouns are used every day in speaking, writing, reading, and listening. Without pronouns, English conversations would sound repetitive and uncomfortable. For example, instead of saying, David is my friend, David studies English, David likes football, we can say, David is my friend. He studies English. He likes football. The word he is a pronoun because it replaces the noun David. Learning pronouns will help students speak English more fluently and naturally. Let us begin with personal pronouns. Personal pronouns are the most common pronouns in English. They include words such as I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. These pronouns are used to talk about people, animals, places, or things. For example, I am a student. You are my friend. He is a teacher. She works at a bank. It is raining. We study together. And they play football every evening. These are simple sentences that English learners use in daily life. When introducing yourself, you may say, I am Sop Heek, or I live in Cambodia. When talking to someone, you may ask, are you busy today? In conversations, pronouns make communication easier and more natural. Now let us learn how pronouns replace nouns in sentences. Imagine we have a sentence, Maria is a doctor. Maria works at a hospital. This sounds repetitive because we repeat the noun Maria. Instead, we can say, Maria is a doctor. She works at a hospital. Another example is, the students are in the classroom. The students are studying English. We can improve the sentence by saying, the students are in the classroom. They are studying English. These examples show how pronouns help us avoid repeating the same nouns too many times. Students should also understand subject pronouns and object pronouns. Subject pronouns are used as a subject of a sentence. These include I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. For example, she teaches English, or they live in Phnom Penh. Object pronouns are used after verbs or prepositions. These include me, you, him, her, it, us, and them. For example, the teacher helps me. I called him yesterday. She invited us to dinner, or the manager spoke to them. In real-life situations, object pronouns are used frequently. At school, a student may say, can you help me? At work, someone may say, the boss asked him to join the meeting. In public conversations, people often say, please give it to her, or I saw them at the market. Another important type of pronoun is the possessive pronoun. Possessive pronouns show ownership or possession. Examples include mine, yours, his, hers, ours, and theirs. For example, this book is mine, that bag is yours, the red car is theirs, or the decision was ours. Possessive pronouns are very useful in everyday communication. Imagine you are in a classroom and someone asks, whose pen is this? You may answer, it is mine. At home, someone may ask, is this your phone? And you may answer, no, it is hers. These examples help learners understand how possessive pronouns work naturally in conversation. There are also possessive adjectives, which are similar to possessive pronouns but are followed by nouns. Examples include my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. For example, my teacher is kind. Your English is improving. His office is large. Her family lives in the city. Our classroom is clean. Or their house is beautiful. Students often confuse possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives, so it is important to practice them carefully. Compare these sentences. This book is mine, and this is my book. Both sentences show ownership, but the grammar structure is different. Now let us learn about reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns include myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. We use reflexive pronouns when the subject and object are the same person or thing. For example, I taught myself English. She looked at herself in the mirror. The boy hurt himself while playing football, or we enjoyed ourselves at the party. Reflexive pronouns are common in daily English conversations. For example, someone may say, please help yourself to some food, or the children clean the classroom themselves. These sentences show actions directed back to the subject. Another useful group is demonstrative pronouns. These pronouns point to specific things or people. Examples are this, that, these, and those. For example, this is my notebook. That is our school. These are delicious apples. Or those are my friends. In conversations, demonstrative pronouns are very common. At a restaurant, someone may say, I want this, while pointing at food on the menu. In a classroom, a teacher may ask, whose books are those? These pronouns help people identify objects or people clearly. Interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions. Examples include who, whom, whose, what, and which. For example, who is your teacher? What is your name? Which bag is yours? Or whose phone is ringing? These question words are essential in communication because people ask questions every day. At work, someone may ask, who sent this email? At school, a student may ask, which lesson are we studying today? Learning interrogative pronouns helps students communicate confidently in conversations. Relative pronouns are also important in English grammar. These pronouns connect ideas and sentences. Examples include who, whom, whose, which, and that. For example, the teacher who teaches us English is very friendly. The book that I bought yesterday is interesting. Or the student whose bag was lost is worried. Relative pronouns help make sentences more detailed and advanced. They are often used in writing, storytelling, and formal communication. Indefinite pronouns refer to nonspecific people or things. Examples include someone, anyone, everyone, nobody, everything, something, and nothing. For example, someone is knocking at the door. Everybody likes music. Nobody answered the phone. Or I need something to drink. In real life, people use indefinite pronouns very often. At home, a parent may say, someone left the lights on. In the office, a manager may ask, did anyone finish the report? These pronouns are useful because we do not always know the exact person or thing we're talking about. Let us now practice pronouns in everyday situations. Imagine you are at school. You may hear sentences such as, she is our English teacher. They are preparing for the exam. Can you help me with my homework? Or this is my desk. At home you may say, he is cooking dinner. We are watching television. The dog hurt itself. Or those are our family photos. At work, people may say, the manager called me. They finished the project. Or whose laptop is this? In public places you may hear, someone dropped a wallet. Can you tell me where the station is? Or that is the bus we need. These examples show how pronouns are used naturally in real communication. Students should also practice speaking with pronouns aloud. Repeat these sentences clearly and confidently. She studies English every evening. They work in a large company. We enjoy learning together. Can you help me? This phone is mine. He introduced himself to the class. Those are beautiful flowers. Who is your manager? Someone is waiting outside. The teacher who helped us is very patient. Repeating these sentences will improve your pronunciation and fluency. English learners sometimes make mistakes when using pronouns. For example, some learners may say, me am happy, instead of I am happy. Others may say, her is my friend, instead of she is my friend. It is important to practice the correct forms regularly. Another common mistake is confusing there, and there. There shows possession. There refers to a place, and there means they are. For example, their classroom is clean. The students are over there. And they're studying English. Careful practice will help students avoid these mistakes. One excellent way to improve pronoun usage is through daily conversation practice. Try speaking about your life using pronouns. For example, I wake up early every morning. My sister prepares breakfast, and she goes to work by bus. My parents work in the city, and they come home in the evening. We usually eat dinner together. After dinner, I study English by myself. This kind of practice helps students use pronouns naturally and confidently. Pronouns are extremely important in storytelling and communication. Imagine telling a story without pronouns. You would repeat names many times, and the story would sound strange. For example, instead of saying, Tom went to the market, Tom bought fruit, Tom met Tom's friend, we can say, Tom went to the market, he bought fruit, he met his friend. Pronouns make English smoother and easier to understand. In conclusion, pronouns are an essential part of English grammar because they replace nouns and make communication more natural. We use pronouns every day when speaking, writing, reading, and listening. By learning personal pronouns, object pronouns, possessive pronouns, reflexive pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, interrogative pronouns, relative pronouns, and indefinite pronouns, students can improve their English grammar and communication skills greatly. Continue practicing pronouns in real-life situations, conversations, and writing exercises. The more you practice, the more confident and fluent you will become in English. Thank you.